Hey there guys, it's me again, still sick as a dog. What a surprise, right? But today I'm here to satiate the Marvel fans with my personal favorite Avenger and how strong he would be in the context of Dragon Ball. I assume you have already seen the thumbnail and read the title, so it should come to no surprise that my favorite Avenger is Captain America. And I'm not even American, like how inclusive of me, like am I right guys? But like I said, today we are throwing the spotlight on the stars and stripes donning Avenger himself, Captain America. And specifically, we're going to be breaking down his powers, his abilities, and that iconic gear that makes him a standout in the Marvel universe and throwing his ass against Dragon Ball to see where he sticks, really. But first off, let's talk about where it all begins for Steve Rogers, aka Captain America. Born a very scrawny kid from Brooklyn, Steve wanted to join the army to fight against the Nazi forces which terrorized most of Europe at the time. Steve was however deemed unfit for service and denied entrance into the US military. But he got a second chance thanks to Dr. Erskine's suggestion that he takes part in Project Rebirth. And thanks to Dr. Abraham Erskine's super soldier serum, Steve went from frail to absolutely phenomenal. I mean, look at those abs, baby. Becoming the very peak of human physical perfection. But what exactly does that actually mean? So let's start with the big fish in the room. The Super Soldier Serum. This isn't your average protein shake, guys. Like, the serum combined with Vita Ray treatment transformed Steve into a perfect specimen of human development. Now, Cap doesn't have superpowers like Force Lightning or Hulk's Gamma Strength, right? But he's as close to superhuman as a human can get without actually crossing that line. His physical strength? He can lift up to 800 pounds. For context, think bench pressing a Harley Davidson. His speed? He can sprint at 30 miles per hour, outrunning most Olympic athletes. And his agility? Cap can pull off flips, dodges and acrobatics that make a gym list and definitely me very jealous. He is basically the fully unlocked potential of the human body without it crossing that line into becoming a superpowered or like paranormal super individual, right? But we do have to keep in mind it's not just about raw power. The serum amped up Steve's endurance, letting him fight for hours without tiring. His reflexes are razor sharp, allowing him to react faster than a normal human. Perfect, for example, for dodging bullets or catching a shield in midair. And his healing factor is also off the charts. While he can't regenerate like Wolverine, Cap recovers from injuries way faster than you or me. A broken bone, he's back in action in a couple of days. Oh, and the serum slows his aging, keeping him in his prime even decades after World War II actually ended. So let's talk abilities, because Cap's brain is just as impressive as his brawn. The guy's a master tactician, often calling the shots for the Avengers, even though he's pretty much... is he the weakest? I guess he might be the weakest, actually, but you know, he does actually take a leading role. His strategic mind lets him analyze battlefields, predict enemy moves, and come up with plans on the fly. Thor himself actually said that Cap is one of the very few humans he'd actually follow into battle. Whether he's outsmarting the Red Skull or coordinating a team against Thanos, Cap's leadership is next level, and that is honestly something I do consider in these types of videos because I feel it is a very valuable skill to have. But moving back to his actual combat abilities, after the serum of course, Steve underwent intense training in gymnastics, hand-to-hand fighting and military strategy. He's blended judo, boxing, kickboxing and gymnastics into a pretty unique fighting style that's all his own. This guy can take down enemies twice his size with precision strikes and acrobatic flair. Basically, he likes to flex on people. He's also a master of multiple martial arts, making him a walking arsenal of combat techniques. And let's not forget his marksmanship. Cap's got pinpoint accuracy, whether he's throwing a shield or firing a gun. Though he does prefer the shield for, honestly, I suppose aura points, to be fair. But, you know, who can blame him? The shield is fucking cool. Like, the entire reason why I like Captain America so much is because the man chucks a shield at people's faces. I mean, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty fucking dope. But thanks to his training at S.H.I.E.L.D., he's also a pro at stealth, infiltration and intelligence gathering. Need someone to sneak into a Hydra base or maybe a Red Ribbon base, wink wink? Cap's your guy. Plus, he's picked up a ton of random skills over the years such as piloting, demolition, even art. Yeah, like Steve's a talented artist, often sketching the clearest mind, but that's not really relevant for this video, right? Now, let's get into the gear, because he does have a couple of interesting pieces of equipment that do matter in, you know, evaluating how strong he could be. And starting with the most iconic piece of equipment in Cap's case, which has to be his shield. This very cool toy is made of a vibranium steel alloy, making it virtually indestructible. Bullets, lasers, Thanos' ass cheeks clapping at super speed, like the shield can take it all. Weighing in at just 12 pounds, it is lightweight but packs a punch when Cap throws it. And that throw, it is pretty much legendary, like it's so iconic that I think everybody knows like what it looks like. If you show a random person like just a silhouette throwing a shield, they will probably associate it with Captain America, right? But thanks to the shield's aerodynamic design and Cap's enhanced strength, he can hurl it with a deadly precision, ricocheting off multiple targets and just catching it like it's no big deal. And as you might have suspected, the shield isn't just for defense. Cap uses it just as much as an offensive weapon as a defensive weapon, just bashing enemies or tossing it like a boomerang. Its perfect balance lets him pull off some of those 2012 MLG trick shots you used to see in those phase montages, like a huge blast from the past, like quickscoping on fucking Rust 2 or whatever. Oh man, now I'm nostalgic for Modern Warfare 2. But then there is Cap's costume, which is more than just a patriotic fashion statement. His suit is made of tight woven chainmail, which is tough enough to deflect knives and small caliber bullets, but it's also flexible enough for his acrobatics, but sturdy enough for combat, right? It's a very well crafted suit, which does really amplify Cap's combat abilities. And the costume's red, white and blue design screams American ideals, with a star emblem that's also instantly recognizable for the same reason, right? Cap also rocks a utility belt with pouches for gear like communication, first aid kits, or mission-specific tools. So to sum it all up, Captain America is basically the strongest version of a human without actually becoming superhuman, and he further boosts this with strong and durable pieces of gear like a shield and a suit. But we are here to see how strong he would be through the lens of Dragon Ball. And as much as I hate to admit it, like, I think a lot of you saw this coming, but with him being my favorite Avenger and all, Cap is not particularly strong in Dragon Ball terms. If I had to take a wild guess at like what point in time he would have a realistic chance of losing, I would probably say around the time that Mercenary Tao joins the picture. Cap might be very durable for a man, but he is realistically just about the level of General Blue or maybe Bora. Very strong for a regular human, but he has no ki usage, right? So he is easily overshadowed by fighters who know how to utilize ki. And I've said this in multiple videos, but I don't like saying like, oh, you know what, if Captain America just randomly learned ki in Dragon Ball. I'm not going to go into the whole explanation here, but it's in plenty of my other videos, but I just don't think it's fair or fun to just give these people ki. So I just want to see how far Cap can go on his own. And I do believe that Cap and the, Dragon Ball army versus the Red Ribbon army would be a real cool sight to see, because we all know he would 100% join with the military to fight against a wicked army like the Red Ribbon one. I believe he could easily dominate every single general without any issues, like Major Metallatron should not pose too big a threat either. General Blue could be tricky, but I do believe that Cap stands a pretty good chance of winning that fight. But like I said, once Mercenary Tao starts throwing Dodon rays around, I doubt Cap's durability will keep up, but I honestly really like how realistic they made Cap, right? Sure, he is super, but not superhuman. He is a very realistically done Superman in a way. And he is truly a perfect picture of what a hero would be like if we could make the perfect human soldier in real life. All in all, aside from me wishing I could place Cap a bit higher, I had a lot of fun making this video. Sometimes it's just pleasant to work with a grounded character and not have to think about how certain abilities might work against them, or like how they would work against ki, how it would interact. And to be completely honest, like aside from the entire purpose of this video, Cap would not start randomly fighting the Z fighters, because he will surely realize they are in fact the good guys. And I firmly believe that he will try to help them, but he is not stupid, right? He will quickly realize that he is simply not strong enough to keep helping in fights. But I do believe that he can and will still help them with his strategic knowledge. But this has been me yapping your ears off for far too long, I'm sure. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. As per usual, I truly do appreciate every single viewer that just takes the time out of their day to watch my content. It makes me very happy to know that even a handful of people just enjoys the content I produce. It's why I do it. So if you would like to see more of my content in the future, please consider clicking the subscribe button and turning on all notifications for my channel. I'm still sick. So, work hard, study well and eat and sleep plenty, and I will hopefully see you again in the next video. Peace out.